Hey everybody, Joey here. So I've finally been able to move into my new house and start on my dungeon project. It's been a while because I've been working on a lot of other things in the house, but now I can actually start working on putting this together. And I'm trying to get it done as soon as possible because I have some sessions that I have planned here in the New Year's. But I'm building an octagon table. That way we'll have 6 spots for players. We found out that 8 can be a little too much, so 6 is a pretty good number. Usually it's about 4 to 6 that I would actually want to have. And we're going to go through the build process. I'm going to show you guys what I use and how I built it, and if you like it and if you want to use it as well. Okay, so what I was using before is this inlet for our dining room table, and that was just an old table that we converted to be able to have an opening for the TV that we use for all of our maps. And it's time for me to give the wife back her dining room table and for me to be able to build my own gaming table. And we're going to use the same principle of having an inlet TV in a 2-tier octagon table. So the wood that I'm using for this table is pallet wood. Really easy to get, free to get if you just go to Lowe's or somewhere else where they have pallets that they're getting rid of. What worked for me is using a hammer with a hatchet end to be able to use another hammer and hammer it through to shear off the ends of the nails, especially the ones that are stuck, to prevent from breaking the wood. And then if you do get it hammered to a point where the nails are sticking out, then use a pry bar to move the nails the rest of the way out, and that will help you to get decent wood out of these pallets. So once I got enough of these planks taken off of the pallets that are good condition and able to be used, I went ahead and made straight edges on each side. Some of them were kind of rough, some of them were a little warped. So between the planer and my table saw, I was able to do so. And then it's roughly the measurements I was using for my octagon table. It's going to be 80 inches or so from end to end. So one of the straight edges of these triangles would be roughly 34 inches minus the distance, minus the thickness of the borders that will be going around it, which are also planks from the pallets. And then also I would be adding a front piece as well. I have one that's finished over here. So this is one of the triangles that I have cut or glued, cut, and assembled. Still a little bit sanding and routing that I need to do, but I'm going to wait until I have all of them assembled first before I finish a lot of it, just to make sure it fits properly, all goes together, and if I need to make any adjustments or changes before I do any finishing on it. So once I get 6 of these triangle pieces put together, I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole so I can bolt them together. Take them into the room, just check to make sure they fit with the chairs that are in there, that there's enough movement around, and then if I need to make corrections, make the table smaller, I'll go from there. Also got these cheap little drink holders that I'm going to drill a hole in each one of these player sections so that everyone will have their own drink holster. So when I got the pallets, I was able to also get some 2x4s that were sitting out there that were getting rid of as well, and I had some extra ones sitting around to use. So I went ahead and made another TV box to put the TV in. And then, like I said, I'm doing a 2-tier table. The first layer will be where all the player stations are going to be, and then the second layer will be where the TV mount is going to be. This also kind of alleviates anything from accidentally getting spilled on the TV or falling on the TV, which I've had happen in games. Luckily, my TV hasn't broke yet. But this is kind of the idea by the 2-tier table that I'm building. I tested all the triangles to make sure they fit together, and works out pretty decently. Also took it into the room to make sure that if you put the chairs at the table, you had enough room to walk around the back of them, and it worked out pretty decent, so we're going to go with the size that we have. Already went ahead and rounded the edges as well with my router, and we're going to go ahead and do some more sanding and go from there. Got both sections of the table done now with the bottom and top tier. Still need a little more finishing, but all the components are put together. The DM section came out pretty decent. I'm going to have my computer in the middle and all the components to the sides of me, and also gives good access to the monitor where all the maps are going to be. Right now it's coming out pretty good. Next step after we finish this will be working on the legs. So I went ahead and stained both sections, the top section and the bottom section. I went with an espresso darker top for the top layer, and I went with more of a hickory for the bottom, kind of just to distinguish them both from each other, but also because I bought the espresso, saw that it was kind of dark.
I wanted more of a rustic, but I didn't want to use just one or the other, so I decided to use both.
This is the hickory color I went with bottom pieces. Came out pretty good. Put only 3 layers of the finish on it. Don't really need that many. It's really just going to be a game table anyways, but it'll be fine. I wanted a more rustic and used and old look anyway, so it turned out pretty good. All right, so the table is in a good condition right now. It's sturdy. I had to make a couple adjustments for the bottom part of the legs and some of the support beams that I'm using. But after adding a couple more components down there to keep it stable, it's holding up quite nicely. It is rather heavy, so it took a little bit more support, than I expected. But it's looking good and put together. Also wanted to recommend these chairs. David Johnson is the one that I watched his video, and actually he gave me his schematics for his table, so I kind of took some of his ideas and made mine off of that as well. And I'll show you on my computer as well the schematics that I used off of his. So this is the table schematic that he gave me, that Dave gave me, and it's a really good start. It kind of gave me a good idea of what I wanted to do. I ended up making an octagon table with 2 parts of the octagon being the DM section, so that would give me the 6 player positions to use, along with a 2-tier design giving the players kind of a storage table and table to use, and then the actual playing table where all the maps and stuff would be displayed on the display piece. With what I altered and changed, I kind of extended the players section so they can do everything they wanted on their tabletop portion, and made some corrections and changes for my room, for my TV side, everything customized to what I wanted, and it worked out pretty good. It all came together, other than a lot of adjustments that I had to make. If you notice, I don't have the dividers that's in here. I waited until I made the bottom and the top, and then kind of was able to see where I needed to put the dividers and how long I needed to make them. I still have a couple of additions I'm going to make with back walls, where I'm going to put a plug-in port for everybody's devices. That's going to be for later on, along with I'm going to run some lights underneath the tabletop, but that is what I have so far. All right, so that is my D&D table. I was finally able to get it in the room, everything completed. And thank you for joining me on this journey. It's about a 3-week process that it took for me to build this. But if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I don't put out too many videos, but when I do, I try to just show you what I'm doing and what's going on. But thank you for joining me.